So, welcome everyone to this first free transmissions. Today, I'm here together with Sia, and we would love to share with you about the topic of birthing your soul into a new earth. And the reason that this sequence of conversations came to me was because most of us are in this time in quarantine in the house. And although the beginning stages for me were also a really nice period of resting and relaxing and integrating my time in the jungle, um, after the announcement of the government that it's going to be extended for 1 more month, I was also feeling this feeling inside of me like I don't want to stay put another month and not share anything. I was missing my online events. I was missing the connection with the women that I normally have very regularly. And I started also feeling these waves inside of me of confusion, of of not knowing how can I be of support in these times now, feeling that there is a massive change happening and not clear on what is the truth, what should I believe, how can I be of support. And I was also sensing that many of us are having these waves of confusion
Mm,
and not knowing how can we be of support, and how can we be of support of our own birth of our souls. It wants to come forward more, but also how can we be of support of this birth of a new earth that is so present right now. And so
mm,
I reached out to Sia, and Sia was, of course, immediately super excited to join into this conversation. And as we were preparing for this call, we were already saying so many juicy, really good things that I said, let's start recording now. So we
mm.
started recording now. And yes, yeah, we were sharing about, you were sharing about that you also had a hard time believing, like, or like finding out what is true and what is truth. And
Mm.
yeah, can you share a bit more about what you were sharing there?
Yeah, one of the things that came to me all of this time is all around the truth and yeah, it's the truth about what is happening, with the coronavirus and the planet, and if governments but for me it was more than that. It was more about truth itself, like within. So I've been navigating the realms of really questioning everything. Like I shared with you before that at the beginning of my awakening, I was asking myself many questions about, like who I am, why I'm here, why the earth is like this, why the sun and the moon, this kind of like big questions that all of us, I think, we ask in some stage of our lives when we start awakening in the dream. And many years after that happen again, they're coming again, the questions,
Mm.
and realizing that I don't have any answer. Like I did like lots of work. I've been, in deep journeys, like deep initiations, and I sit down now, like years after that, and I start like asking the same questions without knowing, without, yeah, again, that emptiness, that unknown. And maybe the difference between before and now is that my body, my consciousness, my heart is ready to die, like ready to just surrender to the questions. And it's like it's it's fine. Like I'm just gonna jump into that darkness, into the unknown, into the mystery.
Mhm.
And it's a big difference between before and now. Before, I just needed to have some guidance or some answers.
Mm.
And I guess now the invitation is much deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's just everything is dying.
Yes. And I also feel, I love that you're bringing this up, because I feel that even if we don't naturally surrender to this unknown that is so strongly present right now, that life kind of forces us to, right? Because
mm,
like
mm,
I remember this moment where the first quarantine got brought in, and my retreat that was up for June suddenly started to wobble, and I could feel this part of me that just was struggling with surrendering, you know. So I'm imagining that there's more of us that can feel this feeling of like "Ugh," something that is going, and
mm,
and realizing how much we were attached, or how much we have hold on to that as a certainty, right?
mm,
I feel that what life is showing us now is that there are no certainties. Like there's nothing that we can hold on to, because life just can take it away like that.
mm,
And with that, that invitation to go inward and to really feel the place, the only place where we can find certainty, that is not a
mm.
certainty outside. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's very interesting because in this big journey of surrendering, I find myself the at the end, you just need to be in the here and the now. You know, this typical thing that we always say, like in the spiritual community, like you need to be here and now. But actually, it's like now is the embodiment of that truth itself. That surrender, like it's just so deep that I can't hold into anything that happened like 1 second ago, and I can't hold to anything that could happen like in 1 second in the future. So I
Mm,
just need to be here. And yeah, there is a deep invitation for all the human beings right now to be in the present moment, to really connect to nature, to really like open all the sense, you know, and start being
mm,
like connecting and vibrating in the life, in life force, like in the current that is happening. So we just like start like opening our systems, opening our vibration to something that is big and we cannot understand with the mind, but we can vibrate that. We can really open the channel and start like talking, or just feeling or listening like through something like life force, like something that is so big that we cannot like explain.
mm.
and and I feel that is happening already, that, but we are able to just feel that when we are really 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 in that present moment.
Yeah. And as you're bringing this up, it also starts to make me aware of the different stages that this process goes through. So I
mm,
feel that the first one we shared is this moment where you realize where you've been holding on to security, and where life is kind of forcing you to surrender. And then the next stage being in that surrender, where the senses are opening, and where you become more aware of all the emotions that come with that. Like I've been
mm,
meeting waves of emotions that are insane, you know. Insane. As I was going deeper into myself, I was meeting so much grief and sadness and anger, and then joy and relaxation. It was like so many different waves, and then another wave of sadness, um, where I also entered a point where I was invited to remember also the stillness beyond all of that. Right. So
exactly,
there,
yeah.
like I was having a conversation with another friend of mine, and she was sharing about the first invitation is to become the eye of the storm, where we can welcome all those different emotions to move
mm,
through us. But then the second invitation is to also recognize the presence that is in and around all of it, right?
mm,
That is the silence that can hold the storm and is the storm and is beyond the storm. So also
mm,
to remember that our our true essence is not touched by any of it, and that really
mm,
helped me to release the strong identification with all those different waves, because I was also getting really absorbed in those waves, and really bringing myself back to myself as awareness really helped me to stay open for the waves, but also
mm.
to really stay connected to that place that is aware of it all and not touched by it in the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the process that I'm experiencing too. So it's kind of like it's embodiment and then consciousness, and then for
Yes.
me it's coming back again down, like from consciousness to the embodiment.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like bringing that new awareness, new vision into matter, like into the body. And I guess like in a bigger scale is what is happening to like in the planet.
Yes.
So we are coming from, this feeling like all the earth and Gaia and the mother is speaking and screaming like in different ways. And then we go to the galaxy and we start like seeing everything with this high vision. But then how we can bring like all of this consciousness or collective consciousness into the land, again into Gaia. And I feel it's what is happening in the individual and in the collective too. Um, and I also guess that is the way that the soul can land in the body.
Mm.
That is where
Mm-hmm.
we are now stepping up into like this new way to live, this new earth, that we are not going to be only like personalities walking through the street, like very super attached to the body mind. Now it's going to be also like this opening to something higher, like something vibrating and in a deeper level that is the soul itself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I think we are just like opening the channel, opening the vases for this new vibration to descend.
Yes.
But first of all, is like what you see, is what you say. We need to really have that awareness. We need to first work with embodiment, so our mental and emotional body and physical body, and this is what we are doing at home right now. It's like, okay, we're gonna face
No
what is going on
choice.
here. We're gonna fucking face it, and we're gonna feel everything.
Yeah.
For myself, my childhood, and also like my collective and family and ancestral lineage, and okay,
Yes.
we welcome everything into the space and we
Yeah.
run all of that energy. We become really comfortable with the emotional body. We become in some stage masters of the emotional body. And then we start like, doing the process of the mental body, like kind of like more witnessing the thoughts and going to that lineage of the spirituality. And then in some stage also, we are ready to welcome everything together, like in union,
Yes. Yeah.
consciousness and that emotional, physical, mental body.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel that just for the people who are watching this, I'm imagining that we can also get stuck in one of these stages or experience a feeling of being stuck in one of these stages. So I would love to just go over them and just to go over what are things that we notice can help in each of these stages, right?
Mm,
um
yeah.
so so I feel the first one being this seeing where we've been holding on. Like, for example, like I was on my way to move into a new house, and then as the quarantine happened, my house went away. As the quarantine happened, all my events went away, right? As the quarantine happened, my partner, all his events went away. So suddenly we were like there without well, anything, so to speak. And so
Yeah.
um, I feel like one way of really noticing this first stage and really starting to resist is this tension in the body. Like really,
Mm,
and there was, I can also notice parts of me that were going in a contraction, trying to hold on.
mm,
And then so I felt in this first stage, what really helped me is softening the body. And I guess maybe in each
mm,
state I could help, but what really helped in this moment was to really taking moments to soften my body, to really relax my jaw, and to really let my body breathe out.
mm.
To really soften my body and let
Yeah.
go. Really, like almost doing this, letting go of everything. And
Yeah. And also, I guess like also in that state is good anything that is related to movement,
yes,
because just it's kind of like telling to your body it's safe to be moved by life.
Mm.
It's safe. That you know that you can be flexible. It's
Mm.
safe. You are alive. You don't die if you are flexible. So it's kind of like everything that is connected to movement and flexibility, and even just moving your face like from this side to this side to just like, okay, it's safe to see everything with
Mm.
different perspective. We welcome the change.
Yes.
Um,
As you're saying
yeah.
that, I feel also that when we breathe out, when we relax our body, we soften our body, it's almost like the energy also automatically becomes more porous for all those different
Mm,
energies of life to move through.
mm,
And then with bringing also movement in
mm.
our bodies, we can also start to again connect to those currents of life that naturally want to move through. So in a way, it's
Yeah,
becoming resistant free, like free of resistance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even like it's beautiful to see that many people, many families, at the beginning of the quarantine, they start like cleaning the house and organizing everything, in the house. And it's part of the process. Like, it's so beautiful to see that, because it's like, yeah, of course, it's time for, cleaning, and it's time for making a space for something new. It's time to review all memories and say, well, this is just done, let it go. And so I could see like many friends of mine and family members like doing exactly that, and then finishing inside the house and starting with the garden. And it's like,
Mhm.
all right. So I was wondering, sitting and just witnessing that. It's like, wow, they are like opening this new path of really awakening inside. And then it's going to be a time that they cannot clean more the house. They cannot organize more the house. So
Yes.
maybe this are like, in this the second stage. But the first stage is about creating space, letting know that to the body, like, it's safe to
Yeah.
change, it's safe to be
I
flexible,
really
it's
love that.
safe to move.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
about safety
Mm.
and welcome the change into the space.
Yes.
And and that is very related to the emotional body and the
Mm.
physical body.
Yes. And also, like when I'm listening to you, I just automatically feel I want to touch the body also, also letting the
Mm,
body know, as we cannot touch each other in this quarantine, to really
yeah,
touch our
yeah.
own bodies and really also
Mm.
communicating in that way that our body is safe. Yeah, loving that.
and and also, like, for me in that stage is very important to validate my emotions, like to say to myself, it's fair that you feel fear. Fair enough, that you feel fear in this in this situation,
Mm.
and to voice that, and could be voice that through the sentence. It's fair enough that I feel anger right now. That even also, like, just to sing or to sound or whatever comes
Mhm.
through, like, ah!
Yes.
It's like, wow. And just
Yeah.
like, cleaning the house and organizing, and just like, it's just all
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, and I feel here we're moving into the place where the senses are becoming more open, and where we start to become aware more of all the emotions that are moving through our body. And then yeah, I love giving sound to whatever is moving through my body,
Mm,
to move my body as the emotion is moving. And
mm,
also really being patient. I notice it really helps for me to be patient with myself, because I can also sometimes have like, okay, another wave, like seriously, you know, but to really also keep being patient with the
yeah.
body, and to realize that all these emotions that we are sensing, it's not only ours. There's also
Yeah.
a lot moving collectively. So also the awareness that whatever is moving through us, it is us personally, it is
Yeah.
also us collectively in the surroundings that we are in right now. Maybe it's the partner or children or family around us, but also the bigger collective of humanity,
Yeah.
where there is so much fear, sadness, anger, grief moving now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel that awareness helps me also to keep my body open for everything that is moving through right now. It's this also this
Yeah.
collective feminine that is like bringing so many different waves now.
Mm.
Yeah.
I, I, I like to imagine that, you know, like every human being that is in the planet is connected to the roots, like coming through the feet into the earth, and then connecting to the core of the planet, and then the the core of emotions that is just energy in motion is just coming to the like from the core of Gaia of the earth, and it's like brrr, like she's feeling everything, so she comes, you know, from grief to anger to joy to happiness, like whatever that she's feeling. And then like that energy is coming through our, you know, from like the roots to our feet, and then we start like feeling it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's as much as we feel, as much as we are more alive and more in tune into Gaia. It's kind of like the children's of hair, like we are feeling her, and it's like, oh wow, you are coming now again, like whoa, okay, boom, you are really alive today, oh, you are really hungry, okay, let's just move this. So we help her to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
like we help her to release and transform, and she has more space to be through like more beings that are allowing themselves to feel.
Yes.
So we become really in tune with her, we breathe with her. So it's just so powerful to imagine that when you feel like an energy emotion coming through
Mm-hmm.
you, it's like wow, another wave of her coming through me, I'm gonna allow myself to feel her.
Yes. And as you're saying it, I feel my body naturally
This is
starts
like
moving. Yeah. And it's almost like this channeling that wants to happen through the body, like really this channeling. I can really see this picture of all these people connected to the earth and then all of us channeling her through our bodies. It's beautiful.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. And can you imagine like the earth and waves, like bzz, bzz, you know, like bzz, bzz, like vibrations
Yes.
of energy?
Mm. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
it's very powerful that stage. But
Yeah.
it's not only the only stage. It's just the first, you know, the first opening.
Yes, and if I feel this first opening, it's really important to keep those doors open, because
Mm,
I feel also that there can be moments where a body does not want to move, because it knows
mm,
also the intensity that wants to come. And then it's
yeah,
also to really to give our bodies again permission to open again and to connect again in
yeah,
whatever big or subtle way resonates for us in that moment.
yeah.
But definitely, I feel that again the movement and the sound and music can
Breathing.
really breathing
Mm.
can be really in support of this stage. Yeah. Yeah.
And be mindful about, you know, what you put inside your system. And I mean, in terms of food, in terms of, you know, any water, but also like news and things. It's like, how much do you wanna, you know, take in? Like, I think you need to create like a safe space, a safe container to just learn and understand how this big energy works. And
Mm,
if we have so many, you know, inputs coming in, sometimes it's overwhelming. If
mm,
we have enough tools to discern, great, go for it, you know. But if we don't have, like, why I have to, you know, watch the news every day, 2 hours a day, and then
mm,
ignore something that is not like life force, that is, you
mm,
know, like shit from my body, and then I have to digest that, and then, you know, it's so much work. So just make it easier, you know, like in this stage of emotional body, like it's hard, it's already hard. Don't create it like harder.
mm,
So for me, it's like it's about like creating something that the easiest way, like simple, like go for simple, because the waves of Gaia, they are already strong.
mm. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel
Mm.
as our bodies become more relaxed with all those waves moving through, I feel there can
Yeah.
also what it can also create at one point is an exhaustion if we are not connected to the awareness of it all. So I feel if we are only in this and only opening and allowing all those waves to move through, my system
mm,
can get exhausted.
yeah,
And I feel that what the next stage or the next invitation then is to bring our awareness to awareness itself. So to bring our awareness to that part that is hearing my voice right now, to that part inside of us that is always already there, always already present, always already
yeah,
alive. That is not a state that moves from one into another, but it's just one space that is already space itself. And
mm,
yeah.
yeah. Like I found in that stage, that is a state of stillness and is the witness itself. I found so much joy and even like humor. The the like to be able to just laugh about myself, but the big laugh, like the one that is not coming from judgment, the one that is just so in bliss of realizing that I'm not only my emotional body, I'm
Yes.
something bigger, and it's a big laugh that is coming with that. Like it's like wow, and like everything becomes with a quality of innocence again.
Mm,
It's like this reclaiming of the innocence
mm,
that every human carries.
mm,
So in my experience, like years ago, doing like a lot of silent retreats and lots of meditation, I couldn't like reach to the state of this bliss and the laugh that happens in that stillness. But now I found that is this quality in that stillness. That
mm,
is the realizing the game of divinity,
mm,
and everything becomes lighter.
mm. Beautiful.
Everything.
Yes. Yeah, and I feel also also what helped me in my process a lot is the recognition that even if we cannot tap into that space of awareness right now, to know that even in these moments of storm, awareness is right there,
Mm,
right? So there can be this transition phase where we are like, yeah, but I lose it again. But this
mm,
awareness is who we are in essence, and we cannot lose it. It cannot come and
mm,
go. It's there also in these moments of storm. It's there also in these moments of despair or panic or not knowing what, how, when, or where. And it's something that we cannot lose. It's like it radiates all the time. It's all the time there, all the time present. Yeah.
yeah,
Permeates right inside and outside and through everything. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Yes, the ability, the capacity that we have to tune into that vibration through, yeah, bringing everything to light. And I guess like I wanna just bring again humor, like yeah, just seeing everything with a smile is like wow, I'm super dramatic, I'm feeling so much anger right now, and I'm just doing this drama while I'm feeling Gaia, and but just bring it that peace and quality of just laugh about how we are, like just this is gonna it's gonna help, I guess, like
Mm.
to tap into that awareness that
Mm.
is just like wow, such a drama, such a like the glory of humanity.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel it also helps me to really find that place of security. I feel this is
Mm,
where I can find my place of security because it's so um,
mm,
yeah, it feels so. I feel as though any label that I put onto it is not the right label, but it feels so empty and rich in the same time, and so
mm,
fulfilling in a way. I feel when I when I can be fully connected to that space, it doesn't need much else, right? So I feel that this is a place of security also, a place that
Yeah.
cannot come and go, a place that doesn't
Mm,
need anything.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And I feel that there can be one of the traps that I can notice also around me of people that work a lot with like non-dualism or work a lot with um, um, like this is not me or this is not real or that. It's like excluding a lot. And I feel the
mm.
trap there can be that we detach ourselves completely from this body in this lifetime. um, and so I feel also it's beautiful to notice where when we are going into that, where we detach, like I am not this, I am not that, although this can be of service also for a certain amount of period of service to open more in the recognition of awareness. But I feel it can also become a trap where we completely detach from the body and not live in our bodies in this lifetime anymore. Yeah.
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 I feel it like it's like a commitment, in a relationship. Like the body is the feminine and that deep consciousness, the masculine.
Mm,
And for me, before to go to that big consciousness and masculine, I need from my feminine to hear from him, like I commit to you and I'm gonna come back to you.
mm.
I'm not gonna leave you. So
Mm,
it's kind of like every human being, we have to have a commitment to the body to
mm,
say, look, I know, I'm not the body. I can connect to my soul and my spirit. I can, be in that state of bliss with a smile of awareness, loving presence. But I'm in this body. I have chosen this body for this lifetime. And I
mm,
commit to this body.
mm,
And I'm going to descend every time that I'm ascending, I'm also descending.
mm. Yeah.
And I do that with my will to love,
Mm-hmm.
because the will to love is why I'm in a human body. This is the reason I'm here. I'm choosing to be incarnated,
Mm,
to be embodiment.
mm.
And why do that? The will of love.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I feel this is where the union can start to happen. So when after this recognition of ourselves as awareness, this union back into the body, while staying connected to that recognition of ourselves as awareness, and while keeping our bodies open for this feminine that wants to move through in all her colors and shades. And I
Mm,
feel then our body starts to move from a different place. Then our body starts to move from a different intelligence where there's no longer active doing, but where our body is being
mm.
moved by a different source of intelligence. And I feel here is where the birthing of our soul into a new earth starts to happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That soul is the new child that is born through that sacred union,
Yeah.
that commitment that we did, like between the body and consciousness.
Yeah.
So it's exactly, I feel it exactly what you said, like it's this new human being, moving through life, but move through the life force itself, no, not through like, some emotional stuff that is just like, or some conditioning or some patterning. It's just
Yeah.
totally open. So life force is moving that human being,
Yeah.
the
And
soul
then
itself.
we come, I feel that in this first stage we move from a place of reacting, and in this
Mm,
stage we start to move from a place of responding. And I feel that's more the place of where we can channel, where we can channel the life force through us, and that's what moves us through life. And I feel also that it has different currents, these phases. So it's like as a big wave, it's a phase that we move through over weeks or even years. But I feel
mm,
in small we can also move through it in a day. because I can
Yeah.
also notice moments where maybe the bigger portion of me has moved through all these phases and knows this place of channeling really well, knows this place of responding really well, and yet sometimes I can still feel my body reacting, you know.
Mm.
So it's like also the
Yeah.
recognition that there's a simultaneity of different waves of this process, where
Yeah.
where a being can know this place of channeling the life force and still can react. And I feel this
Mm.
is so important also now in these times of change, in these times where we see structures are building. Like I see structures that are getting built by our government that I don't agree with, you know? And I can feel
Mm.
the tendency of my body wants to react. I can feel that warrior that starts to wake up
Mm.
and wants to do something. And then I feel what's really important is to check if we are moving from a place of reacting or if we're moving from a place of responding, whether it's in posting something on our Facebook timeline, whether it's on creating a course and offering, whether it's a conversation with someone else or an opinion of someone that triggers us.
Mm.
Are we moving from a place of reacting or moving from a place of responding? Because I feel in the
Yeah.
responding is where our new earth can birth itself. Our new earth
Yeah.
will
And
not
this,
birth
yeah,
itself from a place of reacting, because there's also where the contraction comes back in.
this is why it's so important, the concept of responsibility right now. You know, this inner responsibility that you're talking, like the ability to respond.
Mm,
This, we talked about this before, that in this new earth and this new way to live, all of us, we are going to be leaders. All of us, we are going to carry radical self-responsibility.
yeah,
So we are going to able to listen all aspects of our being, to connect to the body, to connect to consciousness, and just give an answer, give a response to everything that happen, you know, and could be different response in different moments, like, because it's just in the present moment is how we tune into our system in, you know, in the holistic way, and then we have the wise response.
yeah,
um
beautiful.
and we will see that, but again, I guess we are at the beginning of this process of birthing this new earth. um so many of us, we are having taste of the sensation of what is the new human being, but it's like sometimes it's just 1 second a day, sometimes it's just 1 day in a month that we feel like this, and then the rest of the days we are super attached to our personality and body mind. And
Yeah,
it's fine, it's it's what it is, it's a process, it's a slow process. And I
mm,
feel because we're at the beginning, it's like a birth, you know, like the first stage of the birth. For a new mama, it took me like 12 hours, you know. So if you feel in earth, could be like years, decades, like
yeah, yeah,
that. We are just like in this process of taste the new earth, all earth, taste the new paradigm, all paradigm. You know, no conditioning, like this dance.
yeah, yeah. And I do feel like I feel inspired as we call this conversation, birthing our soul into a new earth, part one. And as you're starting to tap into more the leaderships or the leaders, I do feel that there's many of us that already have moved through more layers of this birthing process, where we are already more able to hold ourselves in all these waves and to bring our awareness to that, and where we are also more able already to channel life force through us and to move
Mm.
through from that place through life. And I feel I would love to tap into that more in another conversation. Like
Yeah,
how can our frequency be of support for others? I feel I would love to
yeah.
dive into that deeper. But I feel
Mm.
also before we end this conversation, I would love to offer a short meditation for all of us to recognize inside of ourselves where we are in this moment, in all these different stages, and what does our body need right now to come back to relaxation and to come back to a place of non-resisting. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I will start, but feel free to weave anything in that
Mm.
comes up for you. Yeah. Yeah, so let's start with stretching our body because we've been sitting for a while. Ah.
Oh.
Just bringing some deep breaths into your body. Ah.
Mm. Mm.
Ah. Slowly bringing your awareness more from outside to inside. With every in and out breath, noticing more how it feels in your body right now. And as we were sharing about this first phase, just checking any place in the body that is holding tension. And giving those places permission to relax, to soften.
Mm. Ah.
Giving those places back to life. Giving those tensions back to life.
Mm. Mm.
If there's any natural movement that your body
Mm.
is going into, and giving space to that, no matter how subtle or big.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
You can even include subtle sounds or big sounds, trusting this intelligence of your own body and how
Mm.
she or even he wants to express itself right now.
Mm. 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 Oh.
Mm.
Mm.
And as our body softens more,
Mm.
tapping into whatever feeling is alive inside of you right now.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Just noticing how the body wants to move with that feeling, how the body wants to sound with that sensation.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Sensation that can be one or a blend of different ones moving through the body.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Mm. And slowly start to include more of the body. If you were focused more in one place, starting to include more of your body. Bringing even in this visualization of what Sia was bringing in, that our body is connected to the earth, to the core of the earth. And bring that, this awareness of all these flavors of her moving through our bodies, of ourselves as individuals, but of everyone as a collective. And feeling this collective, channeling all these flavors of her through whatever flavor is present for you right now. And as you keep moving and breathing your body with this current that is moving through right now, and also bringing your awareness to awareness itself, the place that is witnessing all of this, the place and space that is hearing my voice speak right now. This awareness that is present inside the storm, inside all these flavors, that permeates through all these flavors of the feminine. This presence, our masculine that holds space for all of this. Recognizing the stillness that has a quality that cannot be touched, cannot be heard. And then calling this presence into a union with these feminine flavors that are moving from the earth through our bodies. Welcoming this place inside of us that is able to channel this intelligence through us into life, that is able to channel this intelligence into our actions, into our words, into our being, into our radiance, naturally, without any doing, without any forcing, without any needing. This is a place where we are being moved, where we are being spoken, where we are being danced. And may we all move from this place in this process of the birth of our new earth. May we remember to return to this place. And may our frequency naturally be a reminder for others to remember this place. an inspiration for others to be guided to this place. And may through us remembering, may the whole collective remember. And know that through us remembering that it affects the ones living beside us and that it affects our whole collective consciousness. That this is how the birth happens. And taking a deep breath in and out. And staying connected to whatever feeling is present with you right now. Taking with you any insights or inspiration that came to you in this meditation or in our conversation. And whenever you're ready, opening your eyes while staying in connection to whatever is here for you now. Yeah, and we want to thank you so much for joining us in this transmission. And we would love to hear from you how this has been for you, any inspirations that came to you, any questions that arose for you. We are very, very available for receiving you. Yeah. See, is there anything you want to add to that?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this.
Mm.
Looking forward for more chats with you.
Yes, let's do it.
Just listening what wants to come through and just create some magic together. Yeah.
Yeah. So we wish you a very beautiful day and much love.